Hi, we're going to begin in this particular study to work on mastering or becoming familiar with the G major scale. Now, the G major scale uses all of the notes of the C major scale except for one. So, as a review, C major scale is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And in essence, is just all, for the keyboard instruments, is all of the white keys. Okay, piano, organ, electronic keyboard, etc. Now, in the G major scale, the seventh degree of that scale, just like the seventh degree of the C major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, is the B. And that is referred to as the leading tone. And the seventh degree of a typical major scale without any alterations in it is a half step between the seventh degree, which is referred to as the leading tone, and the root note, the tonic note of that scale, B. So with G, if we keep the F, that would not be a typical G major scale. It's a nice scale, and there's another name for that scale, but that is not a G major scale because it doesn't have the half step of the seventh. So what the music theorists did down through the centuries were they developed a system where to get the leading tone for G, we had to use that note that's a half step, because this is a whole step. To get that note and to write it, they would write it down as G, not G, but F sharp. Now, another key would be called something else, but for G major, it's called F sharp because it has an F as part of its degree. Okay, so that'd be G, A, B, C, D, E. But to get that F, it can't be an ordinary F. It has to go up a half step, F sharp. So this way you get that distance of the half step of the seventh degree of the scale for a typical major scale. So that's why it is you would play the F sharp, and in the written music, in the key signature, you would see the F sharp symbol in the written music. Okay? So now we're going to practice with actually playing it. So that's a little bit of the understanding of why you have the F sharp in there. So now you begin to play it. So starting with the G above middle C. And just like in previous exercises, when you play your major scale, this scale or other types of scales as well, you're using your first three fingers and then thumb goes underneath. Okay. F sharp, G. And then going back down, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. I'm going to play that again. I'm going to say all the notes for you. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. Okay. So I just played that for you twice, but as I mentioned in previous exercises, this is just to keep the video from not being too long. But of course, you would practice that repeatedly so you can get familiar with it. So now with the left hand, you're going to do the same thing, and this time you play all five fingers, and then when you get to the, make sure I got the finger right, okay. Then when you get to the E, your middle finger goes over like that, okay. So here we go with the left hand. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Then going back down, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. So I'm going to play that again for you. Again, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Okay, and then coming back down, G, F sharp, E, D, C, B, A, G. Okay, very good. So I did each hand individually, and once you have mastered that, going over those, eventually you want to get to the point where you can play both hands together. But for this, because it's a beginner exercise, we did each hand individually, and you want to master that, perfectly practicing with a metronome, so you develop your timing and rhythm as well while you're learning the G major scale. Okay, wish you all the best in your studies.